Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pitstop Fracas. I hope you are well, and you join us today after a hectic week in the world of Formula One. We had testing, which we'll be touching on in this episode, as well as some spicy F1 predictions that we want to get into ahead of the 2021 season. Now, today I am joined by two new guests that have been added to the Pitstop Fracas crew. I got Ola. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, bro. Ready to go. Let's talk about some
Yeah. We like that. What's that in your display picture? Which McLaren driver is that?
Formula One heritage right there. McLaren F1 racing team. Not this Mercedes rubbish that people are talking about, but real proper Formula One heritage. If you wait from the Mick Hakkinen days, David Coulthard, Lewis Hamilton, real heritage.
Yeah, we like that, man. I can see Mahad nodding his head there. I like your do-rag, bro. We're looking good there, yeah?
That's in honor of, the Ferrari livery. It's in honor of Vettel and his hair loss. But we're here, baby. McLaren heritage, like Ola said, we're here to rep McLaren to the fullest.
So when Vettel takes his helmet off when he gets on the podium, or before he gets onto the podium, you would just have a do-rag straight there, like we touched on in the last pod, yeah.
Yeah, I sent that already. Still, it's in the post. I went to market, got some, sent it to man. Sorted.
And you got Aston Martin's logos all over it as well. Yeah, make sure we got that in place.
I'll make sure.
And we got another new addition from across the water in Canada. How you keeping, Kunle?
VB77 out here, I see some midfielders talking too much time about heritage, but yeah, we're good.
Nice to know, mate. How you feeling today? How you feeling about the predictions we got coming up?
I don't know, because there's a lot. I'm surrounded by ops, but it's a lot of ops out here. But we got that VB77 Finnish power. Sorry, we're from Finland. We're doing it the right way.
Oh, good. Oh yeah, and we've also got another co-host as well. I think the Pitstop Fracas budget is moving like chessy out at the moment. We're recruiting people every week, man. We got new people on, man. We're also joined by Chris. How you keeping, mate?
I'm doing good. I don't know what my label will be on the pod, like as who am I backing, but I'm doing good.
It's all right, man. We're here for the predictions. It's not like we're going to look at the predictions and just keep them there. We're going to make sure that we remind people of what everyone's predicted during this time, and throughout the season, we're going to remind people what they've sort of scheduled in for the rest of the season. But yeah, as I said, we'll get into that, Chris. I hope you're keeping well, mate. And last but not least, we got Richard. How you doing?
I'm not too bad, man. I'm not too bad. How's things with you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thanks for asking. No one wants to ask how I'm keeping. Everyone's here ready to get into the F1, to get into the predictions, talk about F1 testing. No one wants to ask how
just
I'm
Liverpool
doing.
fans looking after each other, man.
Exactly. Liverpool fans just look after each other, innit? Yeah. I know Kunle touched on the ops, but yeah, I know Kunle's touching on the ops, but it's fine, man. We know exactly what Liverpool fans are treated like. But yeah, I don't want to talk about Liverpool too much because we can sit back this weekend and look at all the other teams and how they've done. And tomorrow's Monday, so no one's obviously going to think about football too much. And if Liverpool play, they win. I'm good with that.
Yep.
But yeah, look, guys, before I suppose we get into the F1 testing that happened this week, as well as the predictions, I just want to take a moment to, just to say our thoughts are with Murray Walker, who unfortunately died, I think yesterday at the age of 97. For me, he was a voice of motorsport in that era between the late to mid 90s. When I got into Formula One, I just remember that Ferrari and especially that silver McLaren, and just the energy and passion he brought to the commentary. It just was so exciting and so engaging. So as I said, our thoughts are with you and your family, Murray. Mahad, is there anything else you want to add to that, mate?
Very, very sad news. He's synonymous with F1. Condolences to all his family. It's such a sad news that somebody that's so ingrained in the F1 community and ingrained with my childhood of watching F1 has passed away. He was absolutely, he brought to life races, and like I have so much memories of him, and my F1 memories are like intertwined with his commentary. So it's extremely sad news. 72 years of broadcasting. This is some legendary stuff we're talking about. He's commentated over so much different stuff. I remember a favorite moment for me was this is quite old, I'm showing my age. Belgium Grand Prix 2000. Yeah,
I think it was 98. I think
was
it was
98.
No,
actually, no.
I think I know what you're referring to.
Where Mika Hakkinen did the takeover on Schumacher on the last couple of laps.
Okay.
That race.
I thought you were going to refer to something else, but I'll touch on it.
I know what you're talking about as well, that one. But there's so many different memories. This is testament to the man. There's so much different memories that are, and how much moments that he's commentated over. And I know probably the younger listeners and viewers don't really know much about it, but honestly, this is heritage. We talk about heritage, we talk about McLaren heritage. This man is heritage, F1 heritage. So RIP to the man, and a big respect for everything he's done in F1. Yeah,
definitely. And any other thoughts on Murray Walker, guys?
Yeah. Well, when we think of Murray Walker, if we're being honest, he, as you've already touched upon, he's synonymous with commentary in motorsport in general. When you think of commentators in motorsport, you think that Murray Walker would be in everyone's top 3, if not 1, in terms of people you relate to when it comes to commentary on motorsport. And same way you think of John Motson to football. And as I had this echoed already, it's a loss to motorsport. It is a loss to motorsport. And there's so many fond memories that we all have had of him commentating on races. And as you said, Anik, from like the mid 90s to like the late 90s, when I started watching F1, I think that's the same for most of us, to be fair. Like during the like Schumacher, Mika Hakkinen, the silver bullets, as I will call them, the McLaren, the original Finnish trailblazer. I'm not going to get into any other Finnish ops out here, but yeah, back to Murray Walker. Yeah, he will be missed. He will be missed. It was tragic that we lost him, and we will remember him for the good times and the races and the good moments. Like you said, the energy that he brought to commentary, and just the buzz. And so that kind of thing is infectious when you're a sports commentator. If you really want to grip the audience, and you have to come with a certain energy, and I think that energy was encapsulated by somebody like Murray Walker. So it is a loss, but we'll always have fond memories of him and his commentary. So yeah, rest in peace, Murray Walker, and obviously we send our sentiments to the rest of his family. So
definitely, yeah. I think, I don't think you could have summed it up much better there, Ola. I think for me it was that ITV sport, ITV, and then F1 sport, and then how you had the breaks, and then you came back and you're watching Murray Walker, just bringing just verve, energy, buzz to the track, and it was like, oh, this is amazing. And when I was a little kid, I was watching it, I was like, oh man, this is just amazing. And I think from there it just really just got me involved and yeah, sort of into Formula One as such. So yeah, look, as the guys have touched on, from myself and the wider Pitstop family, our thoughts are with you and your family at this time. So yeah, guys, what happened this week? We had F1 testing. So it was a total of I think 24 hours across 3 days that we had, in terms of the cars getting used to the track around Bahrain. Is there anything we can take away from this? Let me come to you first on this, Kunle. Are the Mercs sandbagging?
Are the Mercs sandbagging? That's a very difficult question to answer. But with testing in general, over the past, I would say the hybrid era, I think because Mercedes have sort of they've set the pace of what testing should be like. I remember the first test in the hybrid era. Everyone's cars were breaking down, and Mercedes came out, boom, 3-digit laps on each day, and they had like 400 laps in total, or 400 plus laps. And that's sort of been the expectancy for Mercedes in testing. they come out and they put in the test, they put in the laps. But this year it's been a bit. It's not been that, but and people and the drivers, the first day there wasn't that much running because of some issues. The second day, the drivers were complaining, about some balances, certain things. And it's, the car, I feel like the car is giving them the diva vibes that they got from I think 2018 or 2019, when they made the car, like, okay, she's fast, but she's a diva. We need to treat her certain ways. And I think they're almost getting that feel from this one as well. But, today they got good laps in today. Lewis, obviously. We're not there yet. The Red Bulls are the faster, that sort of a thing. But I think Bottas was a bit more, it was a bit more like, okay, I'm happy with what we did. We've got some good numbers. The car feels better. But we'll see. Again, it's testing. We don't know the true pace until we get to Q3 on race 1. And that's when the pure pace comes out of the car.
Yeah, definitely. I suppose the only time we're going to see exactly when Mercs showcase their skills will be in that Q3 session. Do they have that party power mode, whatever they like to call it, that they can call upon, and probably take them to the front of the grid? Their closest competition, from what it seemed on the testing results, would have been Red Bull, and it's quite clear to see that they were. I think Max ended up coming fastest. Correct me if I'm wrong there. I think it was fastest across.
Yeah, fastest time across.
Yeah.
Fastest time of the weekend.
Yeah. Let me come to you on this, Chris. Anything we can take away from Red Bull's form and pace over this testing?
Well, they seem quite confident and quite happy. Like, there's no real normally, if there's something wrong in testing, there's signals and people could be able to tell that there's something really wrong going on. But there was none of that with Red Bull. So I think they look quite happy and confident, in comparison to the other teams. So, like, with Mercedes, you can hear the complaints about rear stability, whereas with Red Bull, I haven't heard anything bad from them at all. It's just like they got a lot of good vibes going on and they're quite happy with what's going on. Yeah. So I think they're in a good place.
I suppose another team towards the top, or we're assuming will be quite close to the top of the grid, was Aston Martin. Now, I know Sebastian Vettel touched on it, that he would have liked to have got a few more laps in with that AM21. Richard, let me come to you on this. How you seeing Vettel? How you seeing Aston Martin on the back of the testing that was completed?
What I did see of the weekend, and I think on the first week they had gearbox issues, just like Mercedes did. So of course they couldn't really get the laps in as much as they wanted to get in, which is obviously not great. On the second day, I think, as far as I'm aware, there was a bit of an improvement, but I think it was more on Stroll's side rather than Vettel's side anyway on the Saturday, and I think it was quite similar again today as well. So in terms of like Vettel, I don't think he was. I think there was one period, I think in the Saturday afternoon, where I think Vettel got like 4th or 5th in the standings at one time, which is not too bad, to be fair. But overall, I think in terms of, I think they've had the worst weekend out of all the teams in terms of laps completed and sort of like times that they set, really. I think it's probably more things to do beyond the gearbox and maybe to do with probably the aerodynamics as well. But yeah, it's not looking good anyway in terms of Aston Martin. But hopefully in the 2 weeks they can sort it out, or else my predictions are going to look horrendous. I can't lie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we'll get into the predictions. Don't worry. And if there is any hot takes, mate, we'll be calling you out. Don't worry about that. I suppose the final word on testing. I want to come to you on this, Mahad. Ferrari, how you viewing their testing form? I mean, Binotto came out and said that their straight line speed is not anymore a disadvantage. So, is there anything you can see from Ferrari to say that they're going to be back up the business end of the grid, or do you reckon they're just going to be pretty similar to last year?
Last year in testing, They were really slow, really slow, and it's quite apparent as well. Bonotto's right; they have made a slight improvement on that, but it's really how everything comes together during the season and how Sainz fits in with Leclerc that might determine where they finish. They might be towards the top of the mid group, but I don't think they're going to be in the upper echelons that they were in previous seasons where they're challenging for titles. They really have decided we're just going to tank this season and try to go for 2022 regulations and get more time in the wind tunnel and stuff like that. So their priority is that, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bonotto's not on the pit wall during the season and they're just taking the approach of just like, okay, we're working towards 2022 and we're going to be challenging for a title then rather than now. And it's just more bedding in Sainz to the team and just trying to figure that out and getting that practice sorted out for the season ahead. But for them, I didn't see they didn't do like too badly in testing, but they didn't really stand out in testing. Other teams like Red Bull, McLaren, and AlphaTauri look really quick. So they're the ones that have kind of stood out, but Ferrari kind of just looked in the middle, which is what we could say. No news is not bad news, so we could just keep it that way. But yeah. I don't expect nothing from them.
Fair enough. I mean, you know, testing is one of those things. I always see it that, you know, it gives the engineers, it gives the teams a chance to try out new things with the car. I feel as though they always have their master plan in the back of their head as to how they're going to approach Q3 at the first race. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see. I suppose one final thing is, was there any surprises that we saw? I mean, AlphaTauri managed to get the most laps in. You know, there's good reliability there from them. Any last words on testing?
Yuki Tsunoda. That guy's quick. I'm not gonna lie, I'm quite surprised at how good he was in testing. He might be him and Gasly. There might be a surprise, especially the Honda Power Unit now. It's looking like it's got a little bit of oomph with it on its final year out. So I'm thinking maybe Red Bull and AlphaTauri look like they're going to be the big surprises on the season coming up. But Yuki Tsunoda looks really quick for somebody that's just a rookie and just joined. I think he set the 3rd or 4th fastest lap time today.
He was quick in the morning today. I was watching it earlier. He was putting in some decent laps at decent pace. Yeah.
So that was one of my surprises that I saw in testing.
Fair enough. Yeah, look, we'll see how this testing is a barometer for the season ahead. And I suppose looking forward to the season ahead, we all had to get our predictions in ahead of the new season. So some guys, they played it tactically. They waited until the first 1 or 2 days of testing before they got their predictions in. And that's exactly what we're going to be going through today. Other people like Richard, he saw the questions that I put out and he was like, Anik, I'm just going to submit it straight away. And yeah, there are some crazy shouts in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through section by section, the few questions, and sort of get your takes on it. And yeah, we'll go from there. And if there's any crazy or wild shouts, we'll be sure to call them out and sort of get everyone's take on that. So the first one that we suppose need to go through is the top 3 drivers. Let me come to you on this, Richard. What's your take on that? Top 3 drivers this year?
Well, my top 3, I thought the top 2 were pretty self-explanatory, really. Lewis coming first, Max comes second. Third was a bit more tricky, to be fair. I was kind of toss up between Vettel and possibly Danny Ricciardo, actually. Mm-hmm. Just if I'm going off the teams that they're racing for, they're both with Mercedes power, and they were both in contention for third last season anyway. So with a stronger driver lineup, I think, in my opinion, this season, I felt that maybe if Vettel is back to his best and is not completely finished like his hairline, then he may just get the edge on Danny Ricciardo in terms of the third spot, really. Obviously, watching testing now, it's looking a bit bleak, but, you know, testing is testing. You can only take it with a pinch of salt, really. So I'm still sticking with my prediction that Vettel may come out and surprise people and come third in the championship, really. So, yeah.
So there's no Bottas there, yeah?
No, I think Bottas is going to have a
Not
horrendous
Bottas.
season. I can't lie. I think he's going to absolutely flop. Like, I think he's even going to get like 5th or 6th. That's how bad it's going to be. So,
Oh, that's
yeah.
fine. That's fine. I'm glad to know Ola and Kunle agree with that.
What?
Yeah, I mean, Richard goes, Bottas is probably going to come 5th or 6th. And
you know what? I'm just gonna chill because yeah, this is.
I'd like to point out what his picture is.
That's a diabolical take. That's
not really, because he's came 5th before and he done it in 2018. So it's not on new, is it? It's like, do we know what Bottas is about anyway? So this is not on new from him. So it's not a diabolical take, is it? When there's clear evidence there that he's done it before.
This is it.
You actually believe that there are, like, outside of Lewis Hamilton, there are 3 drivers on that grid would place ahead of Valtteri.
I think half the good. No, I think half the good better than him. It's just that they haven't got the good enough machinery to be above him. It's only because he's in a Mercedes. That's why I think he's going to get 5th. If you slap him in like a McLaren or something, I would have said he finished 12th. But I'm just being nice, aren't I? So,
Ola, anything on that? He comes
the craziest thing is? The craziest thing is I had Bottas as coming 3rd in my driver prediction, but only because I don't know. Maybe I was just trying to be too logical, because really I was saying to myself earlier that with the cars beneath them looking stronger, and as Richard already said, we know what Bottas is about. We know what he's about. That guy folds under pressure. He's going to be under pressure this season. So I was saying to myself, he either gets 3rd or he's going to completely tank it. I don't think there's any middle ground. I think it's either going to do what we'd expect and get 3rd in a Mercedes, or he's going to absolutely tank it. I don't think there's any middle ground with him. Personally, I think he's going to tank it. I don't know why I put him. Looking at my top 3 now, I was kind of looking more at Ricciardo or even Vettel, but I was like, with Ricciardo, I don't want to jinx it. So I kind of kept Ricciardo out of my top 3. But with me personally, looking at it now, don't look at my list too tough. Don't look at 3rd. Personally, I think that Bottas is going to fold because it's going to be tight. They are quick drivers. The teams beneath them are looking stronger. That whole Bottas being able to get away with bullshit just because he's in Mercedes isn't going to fly this season. It's not going to fly this season. But I think that I agree with Richard that I think it's going to be very, very techie for Bottas this season. He either going to surprise us or he's going to do what we all expect and it's going to collapse. So, boy.
See, look at me changing people's minds. Top influencer. That's what I am.
Well, let's see if we can change Chris's mind. Chris turned around and was like, Hamilton number 1, Bottas number 2, and Verstappen number 3. What's your reasoning behind that, or why do you think they're gonna end up that way? On the surface, it seems like Mercedes would just have the quickest car. But
that's exactly
what's your take
it.
on that? Yeah,
this Mercedes having the fastest car. Bottas isn't as bad as what people feel he is. It's more just, let's say has a bit more luck this season and then keeps it clean, he should finish 2nd in the championship. Hamilton will beat him, but he should be in and around 2nd in the championship as long as he keeps it together. And then, Verstappen 3rd because Red Bull are the next best car and he's the best driver for that team. So he should be 3rd unless he's written with really bad luck. It's pretty straightforward, to be honest. I feel like this season is one where it's a continuation of last season. So the changes shouldn't be that big unless you're a Ferrari.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I suppose touching on the car as well, you can see why if Mercedes have the strongest car, Bottas, it would be a disaster if he doesn't come 2nd, to be honest with you. If their car is, quote unquote, miles ahead of everyone else. That's probably leads me nicely into the second question, which was the top 3 constructors. A large majority of people said Mercedes will finish number 1. One man turned around and said it's not going to be a Mercedes power unit that ends up number 1. Mahad, do you want to let us know what your top 3 constructors were?
My top 3 constructors are Number 3, McLaren. Number 2, Mercedes. Number 1, Red Bull. And it kind of links in with the previous conversation on a man from Finland that eats porridge, Valtteri Bottas. He is going to fumble the Mercedes bag. He's going to... Lewis can't do it on his own. He can't do it on his own, especially with Red Bull, with Perez there. We're talking about this. Max is going to do what Max is going to do. Yeah. I don't think he's going to win the driver's title. I think Lewis is going to win the driver's title. But
so Max is going to do what Max is going to do then, yeah?
Max finishing second in the standings, that's enough points for Red Bull to do what they need to do. Perez, the inclusion of Perez, the man that was 4th in the standings last year, the amount of points that he can bring to the table, he'd just be collecting up points. I don't think anybody's going to argue with me and say Valtteri Bottas is a better driver than Perez. That's not reality. That's not the reality. Perez is a better driver than Bottas.
Yeah.
So the amount of points that are going to be taken away from Mercedes by Red Bull just because of Perez sweeping up the thirds and the seconds and so on, and Bottas slipping outside of that, and this testing as well has kind of like reconfirmed my thoughts as well, because if the Mercedes have these teething issues with the vehicle early in the season as well, this is where Red Bull can take advantage, because I feel like Hamilton, he can overcome certain problems with the car, but Bottas won't. He won't have that ability to do that. He's not a driver like how Lewis is. Lewis can if there's a little bit of problems with the car, Lewis can drive through that. I don't think Bottas has got that. Bottas will end up 5th, 6th, or whatever. If he continues the form that he had towards the end of the season, Bottas, he's going to drop more points for Mercedes. So I think it's going to be tight. I don't think it's going to be like a walkover. Red Bull's going to wipe Mercedes. I just think this is the year they end the dominance. Red Bull's going to take over, and Red Bull's going to win the constructors title. I'm not saying Lewis is not going to win the title. Lewis is getting number 8. I'll tell you that now. But the combination of Perez and Max is going to be too much for Mercedes, because Bottas is not there, man. He's not going to help out, man. I'll tell you that now. Especially if the vehicle is not as good as last year's. That's my thoughts.
How do you feel about that, Kunle?
I've got a few things to say. First things first. We don't fold, we don't bend, we don't break. VB77 for life. That being said, it's atrocious. Like, how are you? Nah, Anik, you're letting this man getting away with murder. Like, you're not.
Don't worry. We'll remember this, Kunle.
You're not putting him top 3. You're putting him number 5. That's ridiculous, man.
No, Mahad didn't put him 5.
It
was me, yeah. It was me. I put him 5. Yeah, that was all.
Listen. Bottas is 5 for me as well. I didn't even speak about my driver pick, so me and Richard agreed with that. He ain't top.
Come on.
Perez is top 3, brother.
Okay,
and Daniel Ricciardo's ahead of him as well. So
all right. Wait. So my top three drivers. I'm sure you can see my top 3 drivers. It's Lewis.
You know what? I'm going to bring it up on screen.
Bring it up on screen. Bring it
so everyone can see. So not only you, everyone else's predictions get shown as well.
Let's name and shame.
Let's see it.
Thank you. See, we're loud and clear. So you see my top 3 drivers: Hamilton, Bottas, and Perez. I put Perez in there for a reason. See that man from Belgium or from Netherlands or wherever he claims he's from. Yeah, he ain't getting them points. He ain't getting them points this year. You know, it's not. It's a different ball game, baby. We got Perez in that seat now. It's a different ball game, and that's the only reason why Red Bull is gonna finish second. Because this man coming to every season like, yeah, we're taking the fight to the Mercedes this year. Nah, they're still gonna be second. Hold number 2. So Mercedes 1, Red Bull 2nd, McLaren 3rd. And I'm giving McLaren that 3rd because you see Aston Martin, they're a bit promising. They've got champion, but I don't know. They're not heritage like that. They're not. You know, that team, I'm not feeling them like that. Everyone's on the hype train, but I'm not really on the hype train. I see McLaren doing better than Aston Martin and the other guys. That's it. But this Valtteri Bottas disrespect, I don't. You man need to stop. You need to stop.
so Niam predicted Aston Martin. He hasn't made his appearance yet on the pod. Probably the next couple of weeks he will come on, and probably for courtesy for the rest of the watchers, I've now brought up a list of everyone's take in the Pitstop Fracas family with regard to the top 3 drivers, constructors, and the safety cars. And Niam said Aston Martin will come top of the pile. Can any of you guys see any reasoning behind that? Do you reckon they're going to do better than the Works Mercedes team?
I think that Nam's just doing fairy tales, bro, because I don't see how Aston Martin could possibly get top like that. I mean, even a surprise for me would be if they get maybe top 3 in like maybe 3rd in constructors, but for top, no, I think that's fantasy land. That's fairy tales.
Fair enough. Look, the last question, number of safety cars, and we got a bit of a spread here. I know, Mazepin's on the grid now, yeah. I know he's a bit of a crazy driver. He could be taken out, some of the guys at the top end when they come to lap him. But with regard to safety cars, anything crazy there? Ketch said 4. Mahad Richard, 40 plus, yeah? Safety cars and virtual safety.
I respect cars. Richard still. I respect Richard. Man knows these things. That's the average.
That's edited. Yeah. Come on.
That's how it goes usually, man.
Mahad knows ball. You get me. Mahad knows ball. That's what it is. Now, to be fair, yeah. Last season, I think there was like 35 safety cars in total. So if you slap on another 6 races, give or take, it's not that mad. It's not that mad, to be fair. But
was it that much last season?
It was somewhere in the 30s, yeah. That's what it was.
I'm not gonna lie. The way I worked it out was I got last year's safety cars, yeah, and then I just added Mazepin tax. And then that's it. I got to 46.
Yeah, I did Mazepin tax, yeah.
And that's how I got to 46. Richard did all like mass equations and that. I didn't even do any of that. I just say Mazepin tax is at least 10.
God, man.
Right. Fair enough. I mean, is there any more shouts overall with these 3 questions? And anything anyone else wants to call out? I think it seems Hamilton fairly nailed on for number 8. We all feel that. Vettel's in there, Verstappen, touching around. Perez there as well. There's no crazy shouts with regard to the top 3 drivers, to be honest.
The crazy one's Bottas.
Yeah, that is
mad still.
Bottas in the top 3.
He's not better than Verstappen. He's not better. Listen, let me say this. Yeah, last season, the only reason Bottas finished higher than Verstappen was Verstappen had 5 DNFs. That's the only reasons, and he barely beat.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but that takes away from wait. That takes away from what all the bad luck that Bottas had. They had equal levels of bad luck. It happens. Like, we've got to, call it.
The Red Bull had reliability issues. The Mercedes didn't.
Yeah, but remember
Bottas was spinning all over the gaff in certain races.
Yeah, in Turkey, that happened after a crash. In Imola, where he finished 2nd, he got damage from with someone else. That's bad luck. The same as Verstappen going out in the Sakir Grand Prix is bad luck. You can't control it. You had an easy win locked up in your hands, and it's taken away from you. If the seasons are cleaner, it'll be all right.
You know what? I get the whole bad luck talk, yeah. But all I'm gonna say is this: they put George Russell in that car, yeah, and if he had won, that would have told you everything you needed to know about Bottas in a Mercedes, and we still see the deficiencies in his driving. He's literally in hands down the best car on the grid, but there's such a disparity between himself and Lewis Hamilton. And fair enough, Lewis Hamilton is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, F1 driver. So fine, it's hard to compare Bottas to him, but the disparity is so great, and yet they're driving the same car.
It'll be interesting. It'll be very, very interesting to see what happens. I think the first race will tell us everything. Based on the back of testing, how Mercedes have done, how they may apply themselves in the next race. And, we're going to come into those predictions later as to when the championship's going to be won, etc., etc. I think it's interesting. Look, I didn't even include Bottas in my top 3. I think the Red Bulls will be much closer to them, and I can kind of see where Mahad's coming from. I think that combo of Verstappen and Perez could be enough to get them into the second and third positions for the top 3 drivers. Bottas, I'm just not so sure about. And to me, Sakir just showed me why. Like, he really needs to be doing better in that car. But look, guys, I don't want to dwell on this too much because we have a few more predictions that we want to get into. And you know what? We might as well just move on. I'm just going to move it on to the next screen and we can go through that. So at Pitstop Fracas, we don't do easy. We do spicy. We do something different. We do contentious. We do agendas. So the next question was, which driver is going to complete the fewest laps? And there's a couple of crazy shouts in there, I think. I mean, Chris, let me come to you first and foremost. Fernando Alonso completing the fewest laps. Why is that?
I think he's just going to be in the wars in the midfield. It's just, you know, a bit of bad luck, an engine going here and there in the wars in midfield. Who just, you know, it will just fall short.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like people are overstating how aggressive Mazepin's going to be. So I'm just like, out of everyone, I said, then pick someone in the midfield and go with it. Make a hot take, you know?
Yeah, no, fair enough. And I mean, you touched on it there. Yeah, that pantomime villain, Mazepin, he's across the board in these first 3 questions in terms of who's going to complete the fewest laps, who's going to get the most points in the bottom 3 drivers. I don't think he's going to get any driver of the day awards unless he's paid them off. But he is the main culprit when it comes to those lot. Those lot, the third in terms of the fewest laps, the most penalty points, and the bottom 3 drivers. Richard, let me come to you on this. Mazepin, what's your take on him in terms of getting, you know, the most penalty points, finishing bottom of the pile, and completing the fewest laps as you predicted?
To be fair, it's just off the strength of how reliable I think the Haas is going to be, rather than what he's going to do per se. So I don't see the Haas being that reliable this season. I don't know why. I've just got that feeling. So I think obviously it's a toss-up between him and Mick Schumacher. I just think he's going to be unfortunate and pick up a lot of DNFs, mostly off the strength of the car rather than him being, you know, Crash Bandicoot. But at the end of the day, with the driver penalty points, I didn't want to pick Mazepin, but I couldn't really speculate who else might get penalty points that much, because I think Lewis got the most last season, which was quite a surprise. But yeah, in terms of that, it was quite difficult to pick, to be fair. So I just thought, let me just pick who's going to be overly aggressive at times. So I just picked Mazepin as well. So that was my reasoning behind it, really.
Okay, yeah, no, fair enough. And by the way, as an FYI, I forgot to put Ola's name in there. So yeah, sorry about that, mate. I need to call you out for this one, Ola, though, because you have said Latifi will finish bottom of the pile. Why is that?
But I just don't think he's good, bro. Like, he's just not a good driver, man. And then put a bad driver in a Williams, man. That's just a recipe for
disaster.
I just don't rate him as a driver, man. I just think that he's at least with Russell, you can see that he can make it in a better car. I don't see that from Latifi. Latifi just is your typical back marker driver.
Yeah,
lucky. I just don't see anything great from him. I mean, I get why. I get people's bottom 3 standings in terms of Giovinazzi's a shout, Mazepin's a shout. But to be fair, I don't think my bottom 3 list is too wild. I mean, I got Mazepin in there.
No, it's not.
But then Latifi, I just don't rate him as a driver, man. He's very basic, man. Like he's like a Tesco ham sandwich. He's just like he's just very basic.
Guys, excluding Driver of the Day award, which I want to come on to in a bit. Any more on these? Anything that stands out to you? Obviously, Mick Schumacher's in there. Giovinazzi's in there. There's a couple of shouts of Yuki Tsunoda as well. Anything here that stands out to you, or you can maybe see their reasoning behind it, like Ocon getting the most penalty points? I know Martin said that, and can you guys see anything behind that?
Yeah,
Again,
it's like Alonso, just in the wars.
Yeah.
In the midfield, he's a very aggressive guy as well. So
like Ocon and Alonso is going to be beefing halfway through the season. Yeah, just taking each other out. Hence, they'll probably complete the fewest laps and accumulate the most penalty points.
I said Alonso most penalty points because he's going to come back and he's not going to give a fuck about any rules, driving lines, or any of that. He's just going to be like, move out the way. I'm just going to be doing my thing. Because I've been looking at testing. He's still got it. He's still a driver. You know what I mean? It's not like he completely cannot drive. But I feel like my rationale for like saying, okay, Alonso is going to get the most penalty points is that he's just going to be as aggressive as he can be because he's going to be in the midfield. Kind of like what Chris said. Like he's got no choice. If you're in the midfield, you kind of got to bat it out. And he might take things a little bit too far, maybe.
100%.
That's my kind of thinking about that. I thought Chris picked Alonso did the fewest laps because I thought maybe your rationale was that he's going to retire mid-season. That's why I do the fewest laps. But but to be fair, I kind of agree. I kind of agree with Ola as well on the Latifi. I might want to change that and put Latifi 20th. I don't know if I could do any late changes because Latifi's bad, man.
The vibes, Anik, you see it.
Latifi's bad, man. I'm not gonna lie. Just thinking back for the last season, this guy is not good, man.
Oh my!
It's like, you know, when you're watching someone like when you're watching like a League One footballer playing the Prem team. I'm like, this guy, this ain't qualified. He ain't qualified.
He didn't even get into the Twitch group, man. Come on, he ain't making it. He ain't getting in anywhere.
He's so.
The funniest thing is Austria last year. I swear there was only 11 cars running. Guess who finished 11th? Latifi. Man didn't even get points in an 11-man race. It's peak, man. Just Latifi's in trouble, man. Mazepin, I don't know. We'll have to see if he's quick or not. I'm kind of saying he's bottom 20. It's just pure hate for the man. I'm not even looking at his driving skills. But it does. I think I agree with a lot of people's shouts on it. Looking at it anyway.
So you guys touched on one thing there with Alonso, and you know he is going to be the eldest head on the grid. Do you think the fact that you got these standout drivers that are really, really quick, especially I think personally Yuki Tsunoda, I think Mick Schumacher's quick as well. Do you reckon the fact that he could be around these people that are like challenging him, battling with him on the grid, do you reckon that's going to get into his head? Do you reckon that's going to hit his ego a bit? I want to come to you on this, Kunle. What do you think about that? Or do you reckon Alonso would just have enough and just be like, I can block all this out. I'm better than them. I have a faster car than them.
You see with Alonso, yeah. If there is something that Alonso is, it's petty.
Mm-hmm.
He is petty. It's either going to be petty on the radio or be petty the way he drives. I don't know who remembers this. There was a race. Him and Palmer were going at it.
Yep, Monza,
and
2017.
And he goes on radio like, where did Palmer finish? And someone said did not finish or something like that. And he goes, yeah, good for him. That's good. That's
he said karma. Yeah, I remember.
He said karma or something like that.
Yeah, he said karma.
That's Alonso. Like, he might be old, but I don't think he's changed. And I have a feeling he's still going to want to get in there. He's still going to want to show like, okay, you know what? I've been away for a bit. There's way too many small boys on this grid. There's way too many little kids, way too many paid drivers. These guys are not on my level. Mm-hmm. I don't rate you. I don't respect you. And I'm going to show you to your face that I don't respect you. So you see, when he's going wheel to wheel with some of them, he's going to be racecrafty, extra, not respecting them, compared to when he's going to go wheel to wheel with. I'll give you an example. He doesn't rate Vettel. Alonso don't rate Vettel. Look at his wheel to wheel with Vettel in the past and compare it to his wheel to wheels with Lewis Hamilton. It's different. There's some sort of respect. There's some sort of respect in the wheel to wheels compared to when he's going against Vettel. So I think there's going to be a lot of that. And like Chris said, just because it's in the middle of the field, it's going to be stuck in a lot of that. It will be stuck in a lot of that. And it will just have to show like, okay, this is me. This is what I'm doing. I'm a 2-time champion. I've gone toe-to-toe with the best.
Mm-hmm.
And you little kids, you've not done half of what I've done in this business. So I'm just gonna show you that I'm here to stay, and it'll probably give some good highlights. I'm looking forward to the radio, to be honest. That's what I'm here for with Alonso. Give me that same radio. I just want to hear what he's saying on radio and see where we are with that. But yeah, let's see how it goes.
Yeah. Look, enough on the Wooden Spoon Awards. You know, we'll see how Alonso does. We've seen his antics when Hamilton first started in 2007. Hungary 2007 springs to mind. So I'm not expecting a lot from Alonso, to be honest with you guys. Let's get into the Most Driver of the Day awards. Now, there's a mixed bag here, and that's what I like to see. You've got to see Mick Schumacher there. You've got Verstappen in there. I personally think it's going to be Verstappen. And the reason for that is because he's just loved. And if he puts in a fantastic race, moving from, I don't know, 4th on the grid to 2nd by the end of the race, these commentators will gloat about him. Oh, masterstroke from Verstappen, etc., etc. So I just think because he's loved by those on the grid, as well as, you know, a massive following he has, I feel as though he's going to get the Most Driver of the Day awards. But that's my personal take on it. And Ola, I'm going to come to you on this, and I'm really sorry I didn't include your name again on this and the next slide. But you're the only one that called out Hamilton for getting the Most Driver of the Day awards.
I don't know why I put Hamilton there. I don't know why. Maybe I misread the thing. Looking at my option is not Hamilton, because you're really going to get a Driver of the Day award and you're coming first every single race, and you're in no straps, you're coasting to victory. So that's an oversight on my part. It's not Hamilton. I'd probably say Verstappen or maybe a Lando Norris rather than a Hamilton. So that's an oversight on my part. I do not believe that Hamilton will get them, because he'll be at the top, cruising to victory and out of the trouble. And like I said, you don't get Driver of the Day awards for cruising to first every single race. So oversight on my part. Do not take that as a knock to my F1 knowledge.
Well, look, we'll see how that pans out. Chris, you mentioned Norris. Why would you say Lando Norris?
Because I think he's good enough to put in performances. And you know how you said about Verstappen being loved? Norris is loved. Like, that guy's the king of the internet, yeah. And that's where you vote for Driver of the Day. So he's got the backing already. I think, you know, a couple of good performances, a sneaky podium here or there, he would definitely rack up the Drivers of the Day awards.
That's tactics there. That's good tactics, actually. You got to see he's got the most following online. And then, if he's loved online, then obviously he could correlate to getting Driver of the Day. Did he get quite a few last year? I think he got Driver of the Day at Austria. I remember that. He done pretty well. Obviously, Ads is going to call out Gasly. Got to respect him for that. Richard, Vettel.
Yeah, so the reason why I picked Vettel is because, as we were just saying before with the last before, he's got like a crazy fan base. Like, Vettel's fan base is absolutely crazy. Like, even if you're seeing with the Aston Martin merch, like, it's sold out within like a day. Like, all the little Vettel caps and all the tops and whatever. Like, people are going to back him, even if he qualifies 10th and finishes 7th. They're just going to back him to the hill. And also, I was going to pick Verstappen, but I just wanted to be a bit different. I just thought, you know what, fuck it. Let me just back Vettel in it. That's all it was.
Fair enough. Kunle, Mahad, any shouts for Most Driver of the Day awards? Both said Verstappen.
It's gonna be Max, man. That guy is gonna go lap 1, hit someone, end up in 18th, get the car fixed, make his way through the field, end up on the podium. These people are gonna go on their Driver of the Day, Max. He's gonna do that for a couple races. That's Max's MO. Even if he starts second and he finishes second, they'll be like, oh, he did some overtakes during the race. You know, he was handling the car. It was wet. He did that. Bro, they're just gonna lap up to that man. So you can't defeat him, man. It's inevitable. You can't defeat him. You can't just give him his Driver of the Day, and we get the championship. So yeah.
I know for a fact Mahad's gonna echo those sentiments. I mean,
he's an entertainer. What do you expect? Of course he's gonna win. This is what he does. He overtakes. He likes to get himself in a sticky situation. Oh, what? He's 10th, yeah? Let me just glide through the grid quickly. Because guess what? I'm the second best driver on the grid. Let me just slide through everybody quickly because I'm elite.
Sticky like losing the car on the outlap. Yeah, just
I was just gonna say that on the outlap.
Just going to
he's
the
a showman. He's a showman. It's part of the show.
Okay.
He does this on purpose, brother.
Okay.
But this is what I'm saying about one thing about driver of the day. I think this is a flaw. Yeah, because I know it's voted by the fans. Yeah, that's a flaw in itself. Because if you've got more fans than anybody else, the result is not like based on reality. Sometimes, like somebody else might have done like really, really good, but because the votes have not gone his way, they're not going to get it. So it's a bit of a Verstappen has got loads of fans. Vettel wins it loads of times, and I'm like, why did he win? I don't really understand. Especially when 2019 Ferrari times. But yeah, I think it's just a popularity contest, and Verstappen's very popular. Not on Pitstop Fracas community, he's not popular, but in like the outer F1 fan base world, he's popular. So that's my reasoning why Verstappen's going to win driver of the day the most.
Yeah, I really like the fact that we got a mixed bag here in terms of driver of the day. As I said, look, we're going to note them down. We'll keep a track of them, and as the season unfolds, we'll call people out. I'm definitely going to call you out, Ola, because you said Hamilton. Obviously, I think he's going to win it at Canter. But no, the results are submitted. I know your name's not here in the column, but 100%, I've got the results, and you said Hamilton. So we're going to take that now.
It's an oversight, man. I'm only taking it back.
No, I'm only playing, mate. I'm only playing. Look, let's get into the last segment of the predictions. Let's bring it up on screen. Okay, it's a bit over the place. The formatting was a bit everywhere. But at what race will the championship be won? Now, theoretically, as Martin said, it could be Australia, because you could find a team that is more than likely going to be Mercedes, that is clear of everyone else, and then it's just going to be, at what race are they going to win it? And he said mathematically Brazil, and I suppose a lot of people have said mathematically it's going to be Brazil as well. Richard, let me come to you on this. Why would you say Brazil for whoever it is going to win the title for the title to be won there? I know you said Hamilton, but why do you think of Brazil?
I think usually when Hamilton has won some of his world championships, it's been like a couple of races before the end. So I think he won last year. I can't remember where he won last year. I think in 2018, I think it was, or 2019, he won in Mexico, and Mexico's usually a couple of races before the end. So if I'm going off, obviously this being a 23 race calendar, Brazil's like I think 20th, give or take, I think on the calendar. Yep. So I thought maybe roughly about there, he'll end up pulling away on winning it there, to be honest with you. But it wouldn't surprise me if it came earlier, if I'm being totally honest. But I just thought, you know what, that's where he won his first world championship. It'd be very fitting if he won his 8th one there. So I just thought,
Yeah, no, fair enough. Mahad, obviously you said Australia. Do you therefore stand by it after the F1 testing that we saw over the weekend, that there's going to be one car that's going to be clear of the rest?
I kind of like put it, Australia's like towards the end, but I kind of just, when I've decided when will the championship be won, I kind of did it like, when is Hamilton going to win the championship?
Yeah.
So that was that kind of my mentality. It could be later now because of what testing's looking like and stuff like that. But I kind of made these predictions before testing. So I thought if Lewis is on standard Lewis, he's doing what he's doing, he's gonna get it quite early. And I thought Australia might be a good spot because it's not the end, but it's towards the end.
Yeah, so that's round 21, Australia. Yeah. So I think, there's Mexico in there as well, round 19. I know Ad said that. I'm also saying Australia as well. I think he's always won it 2 or 3 before. So I think, based on that, it probably will be Australia. It seems like he's probably not going to win it in Europe on the surface of things. But, is there any more on that, guys?
Kunle, Abu Dhabi's interesting. Ola put Abu Dhabi, yeah?
I think Ola was you on something?
Yeah, that was Ola.
Yeah, I had it.
Last race day, you know. That's
Listen, I was rushing, man. I was doing multiple things and I was filling this out, man.
We'll take your word for it, mate. We'll take your word for it.
Oh my days! Why did I put that Abu Dhabi, bro?
You never know. I mean, look, we want to see it to go to the. Yeah, we want it to go to the last race of the season. So if it is, it is.
But do we really want to decide the title in Abu Dhabi? Like literally the worst race on that calendar. It's like no one likes that track. Why do we want to decide the title?
I think
it's delicious, man.
I think the most excitement we had on that track was when Hamilton tried to back Rosberg into Vettel. I think that was the most excitement I've seen on that track, to be honest with you. That was in 2016. But yeah, look, fair enough. I think, on across the board, we're all saying it's going to be towards the back end of the season that the title's going to be won. More than likely, it's going to go to Lewis Hamilton. And I suppose on that point, we should
before you move on, but then let's just note that this is, if nothing gets changed on the calendar, if everything stays equal.
Yep.
Like I didn't even take into cognizance that Australia was at the back end of the calendar because that's why I put Mexico and Brazil. Either one of those two. It used to be either one of the Mexico, Brazil, or United States, but now that Australia is there, then I can see the shot for Australia. But I'm still riding with Brazil or Mexico, to be fair.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, you could say from the first race of the season, there was Mikhail was clear of the rest, and you could apply that to the rest of the season. But it's one of those let's see how it pans out. Obviously, let's hope that factors outside of Formula One, like the pandemic, don't affect the race calendar that we have in place at the moment. So look, it remains to be seen. In terms of the pit crew, I know Mahad refers to Ferrari as making cappuccinos when their drivers come in to service their car and change their tires. It seems like Red Bull will get the fastest pit stop award. Ola, man, I'm sorry, bro. I'm gonna have to call you out again. Mercedes, why Mercedes for the fastest pit stop award? They done Russell dirty last year. Why do you reckon?
I know.
You reckon they're gonna make amends for that this year? Yeah.
They have to. I'm just I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel there's no reason why they can't get fastest pit stop. To be fair, Red Bull's a shout for me as well. To be fair, Red Bull's a very good shout. I mean, I can see Williams in there as well, man.
Yeah.
Calling me out for Mercedes, man's got Williams there.
No, that's the one thing Williams are good at.
That's the one thing they're good at. That's literally the one thing they're actually good at.
Their car's terrible, but they can change the tires real quick. But Red Bull, honestly, they're serious when it comes to this pit stop thing.
Yeah, Red Bull.
These not drinking Red Bull when they're changing tires. They're doing madness. They do it. Was it always they do it sub 2 seconds?
Sub 2 seconds, yeah. It's sub 2 seconds, yeah.
Well, very consistent with their pit stops, man. But Mercedes is there, Joe. It's there to be different. It's there. You can do with it.
And you know what? That's why I put Aston Martin. I feel they could do something. I just thought. Honestly, I just thought I'd be different. I'm put Aston Martin. I don't want Red Bull to win that. So yeah.
That's because Red Bull. We all know about Red Bull. They're a scummy team, man.
Scummy team, yeah. You like that, Mahad? Yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't like Red Bull.
I don't like.
You like their drivers though. You like their drivers.
I think I was just doing my shouts. I was being logical, but obviously I'm a McLaren fan. I would like McLaren to win the fastest pit stop award.
As of that,
that's the vibe right now, And I didn't even touch on that. I want McLaren third in the constructors. That's my.
I just don't want to jinx it. That's why I haven't mentioned anything about it. I don't want to jinx it, but just everyone be aware, innit? Be aware that we're there.
Maybe second if Mercedes falls off a cliff. Maybe.
Couple little podiums here and there.
So Mercedes could come third. You're saying, man?
I said maybe, but stick with my original picks. Thanks.
Yeah,
cheers.
We'll stick. Yeah, and you said Red Bull coming top of the constructors, which will remind you every week of. Don't worry, bro.
Yeah, I'm here. I hold my licks, man. If I get it wrong, I hold my licks,
man. All right. Okay. So, which driver's going to lose their seat before the end of the season? Richard, Ocon. Why are you saying Ocon?
To be honest with you, when I posed this question, I was actually going off the strength of who probably won't get a job next season. And I honestly think that dude's just going to bin off Ocon, really. Alonso's in for a 2-year deal, and no matter what he does, like, they ain't going to get rid of him. Man will be in the air with a 45 millimeter spraying up in the air saying, why is this car like a GP2 engine? Like, they are not getting rid of that done at all. So there's no chance of him getting binned off. So I literally thought obviously they want a French driver. So, and who's the best French driver on the grid? Pierre Gasly. So I honestly think they'll try and get Gasly out of that bondage house called Red Bull. And they'll try and bring him to Alpine, really, and just swap them. Because there's no way they're going to have both Ocon and Gasly in, because that's just toxic behavior. And I don't think that's what Alpine really wants. So that's why I honestly looked at it to think of, like, who's going to have a drive and who's not going to have a drive in 2022. And I think out of the whole grid, Ocon's the most likely not to. So that's why I picked him.
Fair enough. Look, Kunle, bro, we love you a lot at Pitstop Fracas. Now, I'm sorry, Mahad, I'm not picking on you, bro, but you're saying Bottas ain't gonna make it to the end of the season. I want to know. On that point, I want to know what Kunle thinks about that.
Look at Kunle and Chris.
I prefer not to speak.
If I speak, I'm in big trouble. Yeah, is that what it is, Kunle?
I prefer not to speak. Come on.
Can I explain?
Go for it.
Yeah, please do.
All right, so kind of like this is predicated on Russell's performances as well. All right, so Bottas is in his last year. Yeah, I've been saying for the longest that if he continues the way he was driving towards the end of the season, that he's going to be gone by June. He'll get binned off June, July, because if they start seeing Russell's doing his thing, they might just, and then they're losing a foothold in the constructors. They might just do a quick switcheroo, or they might just say, "Oh, Bottas will pay you out for the rest of the year. Bring in Russell from Williams and take that seat." So it's more about what Russell does as well, and what the situation is at Mercedes in terms of constructors and what's going on and Bottas's performances. That's why I kind of decided, if we're talking about a mid-season switch, not somebody that's not going to have a seat in 2021, because I would have picked Ocon as well, if that was the rationale, that someone's not going to have a seat in 2022. But I'm talking about a surprise, somebody losing their seat mid-season. I'm going to think is Bottas. If Mercedes start faltering in the constructors, he's the main reason for that, and Russell's performing very well at Williams. So that's why I chose Bottas.
Yeah. Kunle, Yuki.
Yeah, Red Bull. They're not nice. I mean, I get the Yuki. You know, I see the love for Yuki. I understand it, but I also feel like Christian as maybe that kid Albon, or what's his name, it might be his love child from a marriage from years ago. He loves that kid. So I feel like with Albon there in the background in that Red Bull setup, Yuki is like, we can get rid of you now. We can keep you around and we'll bring you back when Pierre Gasly leaves. That's the rationale behind that. Nothing more, nothing less. But
oh wow,
Bottas leaving though. Yeah,
not leaving, fired. Not leaving.
Let's get exactly. Fired. You think I prefer not to speak?
Chris, Kimi Räikkönen.
Yeah, I think he's just be tired of his hobby. He's like, you know what, guys? I've been here for like 20 odd years. It's been fun. See you, He's like 40 whatever now.
Yeah, he's been there for
it's time for him, to put it down. Like, he's like, okay, yeah, this is the last run. Like, this is the last dance. They're like, it's not the Alpha car's fast, so it's just.
Yeah, I think that exactly, and that's why I predicted Kimi as well. I thought he's just, thanks a lot, man, but you just been there too long now. Like, you got to start giving other drivers a chance.
Yeah, exactly. Ferrari have a whole backlog of drivers. Sorry?
Yeah, but Mahad, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, if anybody's going to pack it in just randomly mid-season, it would be Kimi. Kimi will just not turn up to work. He's got that type of vibe.
Yeah.
He just be like, I'm bored.
Yeah.
You'll leave a voicemail for the team principal.
Quick WhatsApp.
Not the voicemail.
It's like, wow, not coming in today.
Yeah. So the next question, we all agreed on that George Russell is not going to spin under a safety car at Imola and lose his chance of a point. He will in 2021 get a point. We all agree with that still? We all think that Russell's still going to get a point this year?
Yep, 100%.
We could get more than a point.
Ola, you still think Russell's going to get a point, yeah?
Yeah, I am echo what Mahad just said. I think he might even get more than a point.
Yeah?
I think we know he's capable, and we know that he was robbed by Mercedes. So we know that he's got a future at the top of the grid. So I think it's time for him. I think maybe he could get a couple points. Maybe not even just one. I think he can get a couple. So depending on fallouts of certain races. But yeah, I can see him getting. I can see him getting more than a point. So we'll see. But yeah, definitely getting at least a point. 100%.
Do you think he has one eye on Mercedes, or do you think Mercedes have one eye on him ahead of 22?
I think it's half and half. I think he's had a taste. Mercedes have had a taste. You've had a taste of a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
And let's be real. He's jumped from Williams to Mercedes. That's a gulf. That's like going from playing for Sheffield Wednesday on a wet and cold afternoon to playing for Bayern Munich at the Allianz.
Yeah, I get it.
So they've had a taste. He's had a taste. They've seen his potential. Everyone knows he's got potential, and I think that there will be one eye from Mercedes on him, and he'll have one eye on them. So I think that's it's kind of like reserved for him. That seat. We all know. Well, I know anyway. Like Bottas, brother, just know that you're keeping the seat warm. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, he's keeping it warm. Yeah, they're gonna have to.
Also, man, don't want to hear that, but be realistic.
Guys, any more?
Say names, my G. Say names.
So please, we're gonna have we'll talk about it clearly. We'll talk about it properly. I'll be here to console you, man. In a couple of tissues,
Kunle,
I was gonna say June. We're gonna speak to Kunle in June.
100%. Yeah.
No worries.
You're saying us one last past June, yeah?
Summertime, just before.
Noted.
I hear you.
But I'm watching them closely, innit?
I hear you.
It was like an individual car cam. I'd watch it. Just Bottas.
I hear you. Like I said earlier, innit? We don't bend, we don't fold. We're out here.
Hey, porridge is getting cold, brother. Let's not do that.
Oh, guys. Fair enough. Look, I mean, let's see if Russell scores a point. Obviously, everyone at Pitstop think he will. So, fingers crossed that happens. Last but not least, how many drivers will get a podium? Now, Richard, I'm going to come to you on this first because you specifically spelled out which drivers will be getting a podium. So you said there were 10. Which 10 were they?
Everyone from the top 5 teams, really. So everyone from Mercedes, Red Bull, Aston Martin, McLaren, and who's the other one? Ferrari. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Ferrari.
Okay.
So everyone from there who's going to get a podium. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough. And I guess applying that logic, you can probably see why.
Ferrari.
They came 6th last year. Ferrari.
Yeah, no, but we're saying they're better teams now. The teams with better cars.
Yeah, but there's going to be 23 races though. So and we've seen how random last season was. I fully expect it to happen again this season, where Ferrari might just nick a podium here or a podium there. I'm not saying they're going to be good because I think they're going to be shite, but I just think somehow they may just get one or two podiums between them. Really, that's why I said they'll be on there.
To be honest, it makes sense.
What? No Gasly, Richard?
That makes sense.
Do you know what? I did have him there, and then I thought to myself, I wasn't too sure. I was like, So then I took him out last minute. I can't lie, but AlphaTauri I've been looking good in preseason, so it wouldn't surprise me if they did get another podium. To be fair,
yeah. Mahad, did you apply that same logic about the top 5 teams and then extended it to the top 7 teams?
I'm not that. I don't think my brain don't work like that. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
I kind of did it like. I kind of thought, okay, I feel like the cars are gonna get better in the midfield, and I feel like it's gonna be a much more condensed grid, and the times are gonna be quite close. So we're gonna see a couple shocks in qualifying. I'll allow teams that are in the midfield to possibly get podiums. We're talking about the seconds and thirds. I'm not thinking about there's going to be loads of random people winning races and so on. That's not my logic. I was thinking the random second place, third place, the McLaren's improving, the Aston Martin's improving, and even your AlphaTauris and your Renaults might sneak. No, your Alpines, not Renault, sorry. Might sneak some podiums in. So, and there's more races as well. So there's more chances for podiums. So that's why I kind of such a high number on there.
Yeah, no, let's see. Obviously, I'm just going to go in order now. So, Kunle, you said 8.
Yep. I picked, so in my head, it's the teams that I think would finish top 3. I think each of their drivers would get podiums, and then a random selection, when you have one of those races where someone pops on the podium, then any other 2 drivers. I don't think there are going to be many drivers that would make it to the podium like it was randomized last year. I feel like the top 3 guys would be more consistent over the season. When you have that podium of Lewis, Bottas, and a Red Bull driver, I feel like that would happen a lot this year than the other guys.
You know what? I kind of feel the same, which is why I turned around and said, "Oh, it's probably going to be 7." I personally don't think there's going to be that much of a gap between the teams. Sorry, I think there will be a significant gap between the teams. So therefore, I feel as though only few drivers will get onto the podium. Ola, you also said number 7. Why 7?
Well, for the same sentiment that you've echoed, and who else? I can't remember who else said 7 or 8 rather. But like you said, I don't, outside of Mercedes 1, 2 or 1, 3, and then maybe Red Bulls, and then maybe McLarens. I don't really see it being a lottery in terms of surprises in terms of different drivers getting onto the podium like that. So I don't see outside of the top 3 and maybe one surprise here and there. I don't really see it being the podium being shared out like that. So I think it's going to be it's going to be fairly consistent in terms of Mercedes, Red Bull, hopefully McLaren's here and there as well, because obviously personal. So I don't really see that many different names that being seen on the podium like that. I think it will be fairly consistent amongst the top drivers. So
Fairs. Chris, last but not least, 11. What was your thinking behind that? What do you reckon? 11.
It was more
11 different drivers.
It was more along the lines of Richard's thinking about the team. So it's the Mercedes, the Red Bulls, McLaren, Aston Martin, Ferrari boys, and then it's one of either between Gasly or the Alpines who will get the final podium of just one random race. I think there's a lot of races this year. There's a lot of chances for people to get podiums when stuff goes a bit bonkers, So that was my thinking along the lines.
And
half the grid will get one.
Yeah, I suppose as the season goes on, the teams can use their tokens. They can develop the car. You might see a few drivers here or there getting up to that business end of the grid, maybe getting on to the podium. We might see Vettel's do-rag come out. I know Mahad's rocking it right now. But yeah, we could see that a few points in the year. Guys, look, that's the predictions. You're not going to get away with it because I'm going to make sure this goes onto the Twitter page. So they'll be there. Bookmark it, save it, screenshot it. We'll be wheeling them up. There's no chance, there's no opportunity now to change it. I'm going to make sure your name's in this final column as well. So everyone's aware of your Mercedes and Hamilton shouts for driver of the day and fastest pit stop. Don't worry, bro.
I'm going to distinctly put it on Twitter that it was an oversight. So any way I'm going to put my own tweet there as well.
Okay, let me stop sharing then. Guys, aside of those sort of 13, 14 questions we had, is there any other hot takes that you have ahead of the new season?
I got one, and that is Perez is going to disappoint all of you guys. You guys are overrating Perez and his abilities. I promise you. Max is going to wash him, and he's going to fall a bit short of what people expect of him to do.
Fair enough. I was hoping Perez is going to challenge him.
Disrespect is just outstanding.
My boy Checo, you know.
So it had to be done.
What's the why? I like, is it because he's not going to get used to the Red Bull, or is it just he's not that guy? Because he's kind of shown over the last couple of years that he's a driver still.
I think it's like put it this way. You see the top guys, they have a different level of speed. I don't think he has that innate level of speed that's needed. Like put it this way, when he was with Ocon, he was battling with Ocon. Like against Hulkenberg, you could see that he was slower. It's only against Lance Stroll where he's looked a lot stronger. So I think against a Max Verstappen, against like the top guys, and also qualifying isn't his strength. He needs to be close. I don't think he's going to be as close. So it's like that little bit of speed is missing that takes you to the top and makes you like a champion or a champion elect or someone who can fight with Verstappen. It's just going to look like Albon and Gasly. It's going to be a bit of a struggle.
Oh, wow. I mean, personally, I feel as though his racecraft and race pace will be enough there to challenge Max.
Mm.
Kunle, what do you feel about that? I know you put Perez as coming third.
I was gonna say Perez is gonna be smoking on something at the end of the season, and it's gonna be that Verstappen pack. It's gonna be
Max pack, yeah.
It's gonna be that Max pack. We're gonna roll that man in a spliff. And we're gonna sit on that Red Bull, and we're gonna be smoking on it.
Clip this, Anik. I need this.
I'm gonna clip this. I'll clip it
because I'm just calling it up in December or whatever.
We're smoking on that Verstappen pack.
Oh, guys.
That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Guys, it's been fantastic having you guys on. Look, we've gone through the predictions. We had F1 testing this week. It's been a pleasure having you guys on. I don't think I've laughed so much, especially ahead of the new season. Next week we're going to be back where we'll be reviewing the Netflix documentary Drive to Survive. So be sure to tune in. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button on the Touchline Media Group. We got Pitstop, we got football, we got all the club pods, we got Ringside Fracas, we got Courtside Fracas, we got everything going on there. So make sure you like and hit that subscribe button. Tune in. And peace, guys. Thanks a lot.
Peace.
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 Thank you. Take care. Bye.